and welcome back to Echo Base Network, where we bring you Star Wars videos every single day. I'm Coach, and he is Nick, and we're going to get into this episode 14 of The Bad Batch because I really liked it, and I think Nick did too, and I let's just say this. The Bad Batch is finally getting to the place where we wanted it to go. They're finally reaching the conflict that we have been waiting for. So,
I feel like this is almost like exact replica of the final season of Clone Wars, where the first 1 or 2 episodes was good, the whole middle was skippable, and then the very end episodes were worth watching.
Yep. Well, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the reemergence of CC5576, also better known as Gregor, or Gregor, however you want to say it. The episode's major new character is actually a returning face from the Clone Wars, although you wouldn't necessarily know it. He first appeared in the episode Missing in Action in Season 5, living as an amnesiac dishwasher. R2-D2 and others found his clone armor and jogged his memory just in time for Gregor to be seemingly killed in battle, but he was not killed in battle. He was confirmed to having survived that blast in Rebels, where he teams up with Rex and other retired clones hiding from the Empire. Gregor really did die in the fight against the Empire in Rebels, but not before telling Rex he was glad to fight for a cause he actually chose to believe in. So, Nick, it's pretty cool seeing this character come back, a character that Filoni and George Lucas created, and here he is again.
Yeah, and I completely forgot about him in Rebels, and I haven't seen all of Clone Wars, so I didn't ever see him in there. So I just thought this was just a clone trooper that, I didn't know about the tie-in or anything. So it wasn't until we read this news article that I was able to, the article pieced it together for me, and I realized it.
And, you and I haven't talked about this next little piece, but this was pretty cool. In the episode, we're talking about Chapter 14, War Mantle, we see the elite troopers. And it turns out that some of those commandos are familiar faces, or familiar helmets, nevertheless. Yeah. The trooper with white and yellow armor and a bright blue visor is RC-1262, better known to us as Scorch, one of the clone troopers from Republic Commando, the video game, which is no longer canon, but Scorch was later recanonized with a minor role in the Clone Wars Season 3 episode, Witches of the Mist. It was pretty cool, Nick, to be able to see the elite troopers walking around with stormtroopers with the TK designation.
Yeah.
And they're being led by people from Republic Commandos, the elite soldiers. Pretty neat stuff there.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. So in this episode, that particular scene where they're up on the ridge looking down with the binoculars, and then they go in there and they're figuring out the different designations and all that sort of stuff, I was like, this is cool. Yes. I actually like this, and the fact that what's his name? The head Hunter. Yeah, Hunter tells Omega to go back to the ship, and I was like, "All right."
And it wasn't
finally.
Like "Get back to the ship." It was like "Get back to the ship."
Yeah. So the fact that she wasn't involved in them doing this, I was like, "All right, I just have these elite." Badass, clone troopers, the Bad Batch, and I like this episode. And I want to add one other thing: when they were walking around there, and they had the Star Wars music from Episode 4, from the escape of the Death Star and all that. Like, I was like, man, that's cool.
You know what I thought when they were playing that? I thought, I'm watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like this episode of The Bad Batch was Star Wars to me. It felt like Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the big thing right there. You just said it. It felt like Star Wars, and we've gotten so much Star Wars that hasn't felt like Star Wars. And this actually did. You had the hallways. Everything looked like the interior of the Death Star. The Imperial ships. All of it. It was cool. I liked it.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, a little bit more about that TK designation. In this episode, we learn the Bad Batch points out that these soldiers don't have any loyalty to the Republic and instead are blank slates to project the ideals of the Empire upon and spread them. The TK designation was used for stormtrooper call signs from the very beginning, popularized by or with TK-421 in the original Star Wars A New Hope. Yeah, we call it Star Wars, guys.
Yeah. I never call it A New Hope.
I can't stand calling it A New Hope. But anyways, in the original Star Wars film, we learn of their designation. And in this episode, we learn that these are just regular people. And they're not as advanced or as good of the soldiers as the Clone Wars, the Clone Troopers, but there's so many of them. And now we're seeing that divide between the clones and who are going to become stormtroopers later, which is regular people like me and you, Nick.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They're starting to make those connections. And we talked our other video that we did on the top 5 theories video. One of the for Mando season 3, one of the ones they were talking about was the Doctor Heshing. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Heshing. Taking them back to Camino, and I said, rumor has it the Empire is going to take Camino out at the end of the Bad Batch season. Camino is going to be no more. And they are setting that up in this. They're making those connections with the prequels, the OT. They're bridging those gaps.
And I'm sorry, it's Dr. Pershing.
Pershing, yeah.
But yeah, they are bridging those gaps. Were you done there? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you had mentioned the music from Death Star Escape. Mm-hmm. And another little thing about this episode, connecting it to the Death Star, another thing that this episode War Mantle shares with the Death Star is the thermal exhaust port through which the Bad Batch attempt their escape. This same element was the exact same one that allowed Luke Skywalker's proton torpedo to break through the Death Star's defenses and start the chain reaction that destroyed it in A New Hope. So, again, Nick, it's feeling like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool.
And did Jyn Erso's father create this base here? Galen Erso. Yeah, Galen Erso.
I don't know. Well, guys, post in the comments below and let us know what you think about this last episode of The Bad Batch. It's episode 14. We know that we're going to get a 15 and 16. There's no way, in my opinion, Nick, that they're going to end The Bad Batch after 2 more episodes. I feel like there's so much more story to be told.
From my understanding, that this was only going to be a 1-season thing. If it does go to another season, I haven't heard anything on that or seen anything to confirm it. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to tie everything up, in 2 episodes. But we do know that the last episode. That's what I don't think they can do. What we do know that the very last episode is going to be a long, like 1 hour.
It's like an hour, yeah.
1 hour long episode. So, I mean, the last episode's like 2 episodes.
Yeah. How are you going to feel if it comes to an abrupt stop like that?
If it comes to an abrupt stop, then people are going to be like, okay, there's got to be that's just going to leave it open for a season 2.
Yeah.
If they tie it up, sort of like the very last episode of Rebels, you could tell that was the end.
Right.
So we'll see what they end up doing. But I think by the end of the very last episode, we'll know if they're going to be pushing in the direction of a second season or not.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in and watching this. Today, it is Saturday, the day that we release this video, and tonight we have a Star Wars live stream, our weekly Saturday night live stream. We call it Saturday Night EBN. Mm-hmm. I just made that up. So we hope that you
I was like, I've never called it that, but okay, I'll roll with it.
We hope that you come by and join us. We're going to have special guests. We're going to have member pop-ins. We're going to go through so much news, big stuff, and we're going to have some awesome giveaways. So we'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. As always, I am the coach. He is Nick. We are, you are Echo Base Network. May the Force be with you and we're out.
And we'll see you guys tonight.